Hi everyone, welcome to Soul Talk with Sonia. I am Sonia, and today we're discussing how to live celibate in a sexy world because this world is sexy. You get all types of messages to have sex, billboards, phone, pop ups, songs, you name it. So this is everywhere. Okay, so I want to share with you my book, Ladies Living Whole in a Sexy World. So, three parts: mind, body, and soul. So, go into more details about just living holy for God. The body talks about celibacy, masturbation, porn, how to do this, how to live for God. Living holy does not mean just not having sex, it is a lifestyle. It's just how all Christians should live. But I cater my message to ladies because that's where God led me. And so that's what I did. So I hope you check it out. It is on Amazon. So first we want to define the difference between abstinence and celibacy because people get them confused. So in research for my book that came out, actually 2011, I re-released it last year. I was doing research to find out the definitions. I just always use the term celibate. So there's a lot of conflicting information out there on the internet, various articles. After reading all of that, I'm like, let me just go to Webster. So according to Webster, the word abstinence comes from the word abstain. So when we talk about abstinence, the definition means to not participate in something that you enjoy. So giving up something. So, but it could be chocolate, sweets. I'm going to abstain from social media. So is giving up something that you enjoy, that you love. Okay. So abstinence could be anything. However, celibacy, the definition of celibacy, according to Webster, is to abstain. That means to give up sexual intercourse. That's why monks and priests use the term celibacy. So we're going to use the term celibacy for today. So as a Christian who is single, we should either be virgins or practicing celibacy. That's what's commanded from us, from God. A lot of Christians are not doing it because they want to please their flesh. One of the fruits of the Spirit is self-control. Is it hard to live celibate in a sexy world? Absolutely. But it's not impossible. If you're really sincere, God will help you. But you have to want to live this lifestyle. For real, for real. Some people are celibate based on their circumstances. They don't have a beau. They don't have a boo. But once they get one, they have sex. So that's not, your heart is really not in it. You just are celibate for convenience, not for God. Not because that's what he wants you to do. His goal is for us to remain virgins until we get married. But because he's the God of love and he gives us grace, he says, you know what? You fell off. I forgive you. Now live a celibate life. And I will teach you how to do that through a gift, a helper known as the Holy Spirit. So I'm going to give you three. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. So I'm going to give you three practical ways as to why I remained celibate. I'm sorry, virgin until I got married. So one was the messages I received. I received two messages. Two was because of the observations and experiences that I had. And three was because it just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to fornicate based on my experiences, my observations. It just didn't make sense to me. It was not worth the cost. The cost was way too high for me to fornicate. So going back to number one, the messages I received. So the two messages, first was from my mom. My mom was a teacher, so she sat me down in fifth grade with the book. Not the Bible, this was just a book like an encyclopedia on the shelf. And so she got the book, and her being a teacher, she said, "Son, I want you to read this." So she would sit next to me, I would read, she would explain, read, explain. So she explained to me my cycle. Your cycle's about to start. Calendar, had me count. So if your cycle start this day, you need to count. She did all that. She also told me what stuck with me is all boys want from you is sex. She said, that's all they want. So I'm in fifth grade. I'm hearing this, not really knowing what mama's saying, but okay, all boys want is sex. Okay. My second message is from my pastor who would talk about fornication. And he would say, don't fornicate. All right, that's my second message. So I knew fornication meant don't have sex. So mama said it, pastor said it, okay, but I'm fifth grade, not registering. So now I'm in eighth grade, and so now we're on messages. Second bullet point is the messages. Okay. So eighth grade, had a boyfriend. He's in high school, hashtag 2O. But we had a phone relationship. So my middle sister had a phone in her room, so he would call her phone. She would call me into her room. I would talk to him. Okay. So phone relationship. He asked me about having sex. I said no. Then he stopped calling me. Okay. So that was my first experience. All boys wanted sex. Now I'm in high school. Had a boyfriend. He wants sex. Told him no. Next thing I know, I see him walking down the hall, y'all, with somebody else holding hands. Message. All they want is sex. Okay. So I keep getting this message. Now I'm in college. Ghosted. But let me tell you about the value of this. Okay, so eighth grade boy, right? Phone relationship. Sophomore year, I'm dating a guy. And go to this battalion he had. He was in the ROTC. Nice night. Go back to his place. Kissing. Wants to go there. I say no. Now we have a class in the same building. All of a sudden, I'm not seeing him anymore. I call. Oh, he's not in. Call. I hear him in the background tell his roommate, tell her I'm not here. Okay. That's sophomore year, college. But do you know, when you set your standards high and you do not budge on your standards, that people will admire your standards, and they will gotta have them coming back to you, apologizing to you, humbling themselves because you did not lower your standard. So I'm just going to tell you the standard I set that was high. It's really God's standard, really was my standard. I just decided to go along with God's standard because my third point, it just didn't make sense to fornicate. It just don't make sense. All of this that I've added up, these observations, seeing girls on college campus, they have boyfriends, but they're sleeping with this guy. Just met their boyfriend, he came to visit them, but she hooking up with him. It just is not making sense to me. It wasn't worth the cost. The price was way too high. So, first, the messages, mom and pastor. Second, these experiences, these observations. Third, just don't make sense. But let me tell you how these two guys came back to me. Eighth grade guy, I had not talked to him since eighth grade. We're going to fast forward 20 years later. Our sister sees him at a cookout. Like, I don't follow him on social media, nothing. So I have not literally talked to him since eighth grade. Sister sees him at a cookout, and she calls me. She's like, guess who's at the cookout? She told me. I was like, oh, okay. She said, first thing he asked me, is Sonia married? And she said, then he asked for your phone number. She said, I'm not going to give you a phone number, but we'll call him. So I said, okay, I'll talk to him. First thing he asked me, Sonia, are you married? I want to take you out. I want to start, getting to know you. I was cordial. Now, I'm not mean to guys. But I knew, just talking to him over the phone, I discerned he the same guy that he was in eighth grade. He hadn't grown up yet. So I said, no, I'm going to pass on that. But it was good talking to you, good catching up. Okay. 10th grade guy, not 10th grade, sophomore in college guy, who told his friend, tell him not here, that guy. All right, senior year. Now, I hadn't talked to him. I hadn't seen him in 2 years since he ghosted me. I'm walking to my building, and I'm meeting my girlfriend there. So she comes out the building. She's coming out, and I'm walking toward the building, and there's some steps. So sitting on the steps is sophomore guy. And so she comes out, I tell her, hey, we talking, and he was speaking to me. He's like, hey, Sonia, how you doing? I'm ignoring him like he ain't there, like he air, like totally ignoring him. So my friend is like, say something. And I'm like, I'm just talking to her, just totally ignoring him. So she leaves, but she keeps like saying something. So she leaves, and he takes my hand, and he says, Sonia, I am so sorry about what I did to you. And I don't remember what I said. If I said okay, I said the apology, I don't remember. But I'm just telling you, ladies, and maybe some gentlemen listening, all you have to do is set the standard. How in the world, 20 years later, this guy comes to me and is trying to get with me again? And then sophomore year, here this guy coming to me 2 years later. I had not seen him at a game, on the block, had not seen him. But the standard was set so high. So I just want to encourage you, do not lower your standards. The standard is high because it's really God's standard He has for you. He wants you to have the best. He wants you to live a peaceful life, a glorious life, a happy life, and you can do that as a single. So next I'm going to talk about the protectors God gives you, and then we're going to talk about the practical ways how to do this. Okay. So remaining a virgin or celibate protects you from soul ties. Being tied up, your soul is your will, your emotions, your thoughts, being connected to someone that's not even a part of your purpose. So it protects you from that. Like, why am I all of a sudden angry all the time? Because the person who you had sex with has an anger issue. When you have, ladies, when you have sex with a man, he deposits into you what is already in him. That's why you're going to watch. First of all, don't have sex. But if you have sex, you're going to watch who you're sleeping with. It can be very dangerous. Next, it protects you from STDs. We know this, right? But it's good to remind yourself why God wants you to remain a virgin or a celibate until you get married. It's for your protection. Next, you don't have to deal with abortions, making that decision, that guilt, that pain. As a therapist, I've had ladies come to me 20, 30 years, 40 years ago, had an abortion, still are dealing with the guilt, the shame of that. You don't want to take yourself through that. And God forgives you, but it's still that burden, that regret that they have. It protects you from being stressed, from being anxious, financial difficulties. Now you're a single parent, having to raise your baby by themselves because baby daddy ghosted you, he's gone. He's saying it's not even his, and you know that's the only person you've been with. Protects you from drama. It also protects you from other sexual sins. So beyond sex, the masturbation, the porn, you know there are people who are addicted to masturbation as well as pornography. So this is to protect you. Lust always going to seek to get. Lust is never satisfied. That's why people elevate, right? And so they have to go from, they may start watching porn. That's not enough. Then they go to masturbation. And they're having sex again. Menage a trois. All types of kinky stuff, right? And so God will help you to remain celibate. So now we're going to talk about some practical and spiritual tools for you to use. Okay. Let's start with the practical stuff. Okay. One, you have to change your mindset. It's not doom and gloom to be celibate. You, as a Christian, this is the lifestyle that you're supposed to be living anyway. God will help you with the fruit of the Spirit known as self-control. That's one of them. We have 9 fruits. One is self-control. So change your mindset about doom and gloom, knowing that you're doing this for God. You want to be pleasing to Him. Also, you can get an accountability partner. So let's say you have a friend that also wants to be celibate too. Or do you have a singles ministry at your church? Do they have a class on this? My church had one. They would have classes, and then they ended the classes with a ceremony. They wore white. They had family to come. They had their purity rings. Does your church have this? Or find a church that has it. You probably don't have to be a member so that you can do this, or a girlfriend, or a couple who was celibate. They can help you. They can be your accountability partners. Leave the house when you're tempted. If you masturbate and you horny, leave the house so you won't be tempted. Also, throughout your toys, you can't have toys and think you're going to live this pure life. God doesn't want you just not having sex. He doesn't want you doing anything sexual that is not pleasing to Him. You need to delete his or her number. If you have a friends with benefit situation, delete them. Don't just block them. Delete them. Because you are not that strong to where you can say no. This is a journey. Ain't nobody that strong. Okay? which is going to lead me to my next point. So I said get rid of your toys. Also, cancel your subscriptions. Your subscriptions to porn, you need to cancel them. You need to put blockers on of your phone, of your laptop, block it. Don't even have that stuff on there. Okay, my next point, guard your gates. So when I was talking about masturbation to porn, also the music. So that's what you have to work on. What you see, what you're watching on TV, what you're listening to. There are certain types of music you just cannot listen to. You can't say, oh, I'm working on being celibate, but then you listen to sexual healing, you listen to trap music. Like, nah. Guard your gates. You want to watch things that are entertaining and fun, but that are not tempting you. Don't teach yourself, oh, he's just gonna come and we're just gonna, watch Netflix and lay down and we're gonna cuddle. Okay, you can tell yourself that. So again, you're not that strong. Okay, I've been there. I wasn't that strong. There are just certain things I can't watch because when you're listening to certain music, it gets into your subconscious. Sub means under. So it's going underneath into your subconscious. And you can watch this stuff and then all of a sudden, you good, right? You celebrate for 30 days in, you 60 days in. All of a sudden, you feel the devil breathing on you. Like, what is going on? What is happening is what you are watching, what you're listening to is now resurfacing because it got into your subconscious. And so it will pop up when you least expect it. Because the devil is very patient. Oh, he'll let you go a year. Oh, but he's coming with a force. He's coming for you. And so you want to make sure you're guarding your gates. So these are practical things you can do. Delete his number. Get rid of your toys. Cancel the porn subscription. Like, you got. Okay. Yeah, you may not go cold turkey. Let's say you're only 7 days in, no sex. But you masturbate, you watch porn. You may not give up all of this at one time. Choose one thing that you're going to give up and work on that one thing. That's practicality, right? Okay. Now for the spiritual tools. Go on a fast. When I was writing my book, 2010, I was putting the finishing touches on it. 2010. It was released in 2011. 2010, the devil, I felt like was breathing on my neck. It was the most horny I'd ever been in my life. The devil was trying to tempt me to masturbate. So what I did, I said, I got to kill this beast. So I fasted, I don't know how long, probably over a year. I fasted every week because I did not want to start going into sexual sin. I was trying to remain pure until I got married. Your spouse shouldn't have to compete with what you watched on your phone, on your laptop, with porn. Your spouse should have to compete with your toys. If you continue this path, when you get married, it's going to be a problem. I know this because I'm a therapist. So you don't want to do that. Your spouse shouldn't have to compete with what you have been doing in the past. And here's the thing. You're doing it now. You think, oh, when you get married, it's going to stop. No, it's not going to stop. It's going to get worse. So I'm telling you, based on not what I have experienced, but I'm telling you on what people have told me, what people come to therapy about, right? Their spouses who have this addiction that they didn't know about. That's why you have to ask the right questions. Okay, practical things. Fast, pray, get you some scriptures on purity. And also, I forgot, one of the practical ways is setting boundaries with your body. So let's say you're in a relationship with someone and you both are celibate. Y'all may not be able to hang out at each other's houses. You may just have to hang out in public. What can you handle? Can you handle holding hands? Can you peck? Is that okay? Some people can't pet, right? So you have to know your body and put these boundaries in place. There's a lady I met and she was celibate until she got married. She said when she would go to her now husband's house, she would have to leave by 10. 10 was that cutoff. Because at 10 is like something in her brain's like you need to have sex. So her cutoff was 10 o'clock. So everybody is different, but you have to know your body and what you can handle. And if you are dating or courting someone, then you need to discuss these things with each other. And you know I don't believe in dating, I believe in courtship. So I hope you check out my next video. Dating doesn't work, but courting does. So I encourage you to be celibate. If you have gone some days or a few months and you slip, repent, get back up, dust yourself off. You also need to think about, how did I slip back? How did I get back into sin? Because if you don't answer the why, it's going to happen again. Why did that happen? What did I do wrong in this situation? Is it that you had blocked him, but he slid into your DM and then you reached out? Right? What is it that you did? I've been listening to some music, I was horny, and I slipped up and masturbated. So make sure you guard your gates, you fast, you pray, you get in your scriptures, you have an accountability partner or accountability couple who have done it and they can help walk you through it. So practical ways. And I'll give you one of my favorite scriptures that I use to help me, and that is in Thessalonians. Okay, it is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 3 through 5. It is God's will that you should be sanctified, that you should avoid sexual immorality, anything sexual, that each of you should learn to control his own body. It's your responsibility, not God, but he will help you. Each of you should learn to control his own body in a way that is holy and honorable, not in passionate lust. Lust seeks to get like a heathen. You're not a heathen as a Christian. Do not act like it. Who do not know God. So God is like, I expect this from heathens, people who are of the world, who don't have a relationship with me. But I expect more from you, right? Ladies and gentlemen, set the standard, right? You set the standard. That's the Midas touch. People have to come back. Let me tell you, women and men will come back to you, because when they get ready to settle down, like those guys are ready. I don't know, the sophomore guy, the senior year was ready to settle down. But when men, ladies, get ready to settle down, they ain't going back to somebody they don't slept with, right? They want somebody pure and that's virtuous to marry. So set the standard because of your relationship with God, out of your commitment with God. Gentlemen, set the standard. Maybe some gentlemen watching. Set a standard, gentlemen. She call you swear, gay, whatever. Okay, she's not the woman for you. But you set the standard so God can be pleased with you and continue to bless your life. A life of peace. And you don't have to worry about sin and feeling convicted. And that's a peaceful life. God wants you to have the best. You can do this. I believe in you. I'm praying for you. And be encouraged. Be blessed. And thank you so much for tuning in.